Hi, good afternoon. I am James Lim, founder of the Property Plus system, and today I shall do slightly something different, alright? Because most of the time I always talk about private property, I always talk about investment, but then again, this topic is a very frequently asked questions. I have quite a number of clients, or even you yourself actually commented in my past videos asking about this topic. So I think I shall address this topic today and talk about the difference between HDB loan and private bank loan. Now, this is actually more towards the HDB side, the people who are actually upgrading or buying your first HDB, and not so much about the private property segment. Alright, so come, let's get on to it. So there are actually numerous differences between a HDB loan and a private bank loan, and what can you get, So today I shall be sharing with you the differences of it and explain to you which is better. Actually, there's actually not a better one. It really depends on the scenario. Like for example, right now in 2024, interest rate is actually at an all-time high environment. Therefore, taking a HDB loan is actually better. But over the last 10 years, where interest rate for the private bank loan has actually been below 2%, going for a private bank loan is actually better, alright? But then again, I will still go through with it. Now, the first one we always talk about is what is the interest, okay? So now, the interest for HDB is currently at 2.6%. It has never changed at all for the last 20 years. It is like 0.1% above what CPF OA is actually paying you. So of course, if OA decreases, the interest for OA decreases, the interest rate will actually decrease. But if the OA pay more, okay, the interest rate will become pay higher. Right, but however, if we go to the private bank loan at time, interest rate will really depends on the financial market. So right now, if you are looking at the three local banks, DBS, UOB, and OCBC, and you are taking a fixed interest rate, interest rate right now is roughly between 3.8 to 3.88. In the past, this has actually dropped to like 1.4 before, 1 to 1.4 before. So definitely is even better than the interest rate that is actually providing. But of course, it really depends on the lock-in period. So of course, some of my clients during the COVID period, they were actually calling me up, and I was actually sending out information saying that, hey, because of COVID, it is better to change your package into a lock-in package. So by the bank, and it is actually a 2 years to 3 years lock-in. So you have this advantage. Okay. The next will be income ceiling. Okay, so for HDB loan, income ceiling do applies. Okay, now though if you have high income, it doesn't stop you from buying a resale HDB. However, it will stop you from taking a HDB loan. So it is basically 14,000 for families. Okay, that's the maximum cap for families. Okay, 21,000 for extended families, which means it's like father, mother, and maybe a child. If two of them are working, they can combine income together to take a higher amount of loan. Okay, and if you are single, you can take maximum of 7,000. However, if you want to take a private bank loan, there is actually no cap at all. Alright, the next one will be LTV, or loan to value ratio. Okay, or what is the maximum loan you can take. So let's say if you are buying a HDB, you are taking a HDB loan, you can actually borrow up to 90%. But however, if you are actually going for a private bank loan, the LTV for basically private bank loan is 75%, regardless whether are you going for a HDB, a EC, or even a private condo. Okay, now the next differences will actually be talking about the CPF. How much CPF can you use? Okay, now CPF can be used for your down payment. So therefore, if you have enough cash, right, there's no need to use if you have enough CPF, you don't need to use any cash for your down payment. Alright, okay, so now this one will be the differences because of the 90%. So basically, if you are buying a resale HDB, you can actually take your option is 1,000, your exercise maybe 4,000, and then the remaining can be CPF, and 90% will be bank loan. Okay, however, for if you want to take for a HDB loan, however, if you want to take a private bank loan, okay, minimum must be 5% cash. Okay, if it's 5% cash, 20% will be CPF, and then the 75% will then be a bank loan. Now, the next difference is how much borrower can we have, okay, or what is the limitations or the conditions that we can. Now, if you want to take a HDB loan, minimum one of you has to be a Singaporean, okay? But let's say if you have 2 PR, you will not be able to take a HDB loan. You have to take a private bank loan. So, but if you have a Singapore citizen name inside, you can either take either a HDB loan or a private bank loan. okay? Now, through your lifespan, okay, you can take a maximum of 2 HDB loan. You cannot take more than that. Alright, but then again, you want to take a private bank loan, there is no restriction. So for example, let's say your first property, you are buying a BTO, you are taking a HDB loan, and then maybe you upgrade to a bigger HDB, and then you are taking another HDB loan. Yes, can. But then again, let's say you are doing a third time, you are buying the third HDB. Can you take another HDB loan? No, you cannot. Alright. Okay, of course, the next difference will be that we know you cannot own, if you want to buy you want to take a HDB loan, okay, you cannot own any private property, or if you own a private property and you sell, you must wait a minimum of 30 months, okay, there's a 30 months wait-out period in order to take a HDB loan, okay, but of course, take a private bank loan, there's no restriction. In 2023, 2024, right, actually the government comes in with one more 15 months measure. So I just want to clarify a bit about the 15 months measure. What this rule states that, right, if you were to sell your private property, okay, you have to wait 15 months, then you can buy a HDB, okay? But then again, when you wait up these 15 months, can you take a HDB loan? No, you can't, okay? The total months you need to wait up is 30 months, then you can take a HDB loan, okay? Next, for the loan tenure, or what is the maximum loan you can take, okay? For HDB, the maximum loan you can take is 25 years, okay? But then again, for private bank loan, you can take either 30 or up to 40 years. Really, it depending, okay? So how the formula goes is that, what you will do is that you take 65 minus your total age, and that is the total loan tenure. But then 65 minus your total age loan tenure will be equate to 75% LTV as what you see earlier. But then again, if you want to stretch your loan tenure of up to 75 years, okay, the maximum loan you can only take is 55 years. So that's how I got my 30 to 40 years formula, okay? Now, then how about early loan redemption repayment, okay? So for HDB loan, there's no early penalty at all, okay? There's no, if you want to pay up your property, there is actually no penalty at all. But for private bank loan, actually there is no penalty, provided you have actually fulfilled your lock-in period. So some of the lock-in period can be 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, okay? But then again, if you are within the lock-in period, okay, and there is roughly a 1.5% loan balance, that penalty that you have to pay, okay? So one more difference that I never list it up over here is that, now if you take a HDB loan, and halfway through you decide to change to a private bank loan, again, we said that there's no penalty. Yes, you can change to a private bank loan, but then again, you cannot go back to a HDB loan. So HDB loan is actually very good when the interest rate environment is very, very competitive, like currently right now, okay? So over the since 2013 that time to 2018 that time, that period of time, the interest rate actually, it was very low environment. It was actually better to take a private bank loan, okay? Throughout Singapore history, interest rate has actually reached 4% or even 7%. That was during the 1998, and you know, now after COVID, the interest rate was actually much higher. So it was actually better to take a HDB loan. Okay, so that is the main differences between a HDB loan and a private bank loan. I hope I've actually explained to you what bank loan is now currently better. Now, looking forward, okay, if you ask me for my prediction, because people always like to ask me about my prediction, if I were to look for the next 2 to 3 years, okay, it is true that bank loan, okay, is always pegged to the US Fed, okay, and Jerome Powell, okay, is the one who actually control the interest rate. So interest rate actually is used to basically curb inflation. High interest rate will actually curb the inflation. But now what we are looking at in 2024 is that interest rate is actually decreasing. We do look with the US president election, when they start their time, likely the next president will want to reduce the overall interest rate, because you know, we also do not want to have too high of an interest rate. If not, we will get into a recession. So what I will foresee is that right now, if you want to buy a HDB, yes, it is okay to take a HDB loan. I would suggest you to take a HDB loan instead. If you are taking a private bank loan for your private property, you may even want to take a floating interest rate, because although floating interest rate is higher at roughly 4 to 4.5%, but then again, there is no bank penalty, there's no lock-in period. I would suggest maybe you should take a private bank loan, maybe for this couple of months until November during the US election, or maybe next year, early next year, to see how the economy is going, how the US federal banks are actually looking into the interest rate. But then again, you know, I don't expect it to drop from right now 3.8% to drop to lesser than 2.6%. Okay, that it may be a too big of a drop. So I would still suggest you to either take a HDB loan if you are buying a HDB. You can still take a private bank loan, right, at a fixed interest rate of lock in maybe 1 to 2 years. Okay, 1 year is optimum, but then again, you know, ideally I see that banks is only offering 2 years. So this is actually my take on it. If you have any questions about bank interest rates or HDB interest loan, do feel free to add in the comments section below. If you have feel that this video has been helpful for you, please do give us a thumbs up, a like button, okay, and do subscribe to our video. That's all I have for you. Thank you so long and bye.